Welcome to 2 Minutes of Gaming, where we talk about the top 10 video game topics of the month for 2 minutes at a time. I'm your host, Keenan, and today I'm joined by
Justin. How's everybody doing?
Everything is good. A lot of hot topics today, as guys can see on the screen already. Huge PS5 news. I think we talked about it last month too, but hell, every time there's news, we're going to keep talking about it. So, all right. As you mentioned earlier, PS5, there's been a lot of leaks. Earlier this month, it wasn't even a leak. Actually, Sony, I think they spoke to, was it Tech Radar? But they spoke to one of the sites, and they mentioned how the PS5 will come out holiday 2020. My understanding, the journalist that they spoke to actually had a chance to feel the controller, and they reported about the haptic feedback on the controller, as well as the SSD, which we talked about a couple of shows ago. But Justin, what's your thoughts on these PS5 leaks? Also, there was some breaking news yesterday as well that there were more leaks about the PS5, talking about how they announced it's leaked, that December 3rd, 2020 may be the release date. December 3rd is also the date that the PS1 came out, in 1994, I believe. And in addition, there was another leak that the price may be $500. So, Justin, what's your thoughts on the older leaks and as well as the newer?
Well, I have to say, well, from what I'm hearing from the leaks, sounds pretty good, especially with that the Mo control. That sounds kind of innovative. I like that that you'll be able to look at it from the actual control of the game as well, which I thought was pretty smart. The fact that it might be priced at $500 doesn't surprise me. That seems to be typical Sony pricing of how they're able to price most of it. I think the PlayStation 4 was like what, $800 originally when it first came out, which was really ridiculous. The fact that the backwards capability might only be PS4 is a little disappointing, but hopefully they'll start putting things on PlayStation Now, more PlayStation systems such as 1, 2, more of those games, but I know it's about licensing. But so far, so good. I'm actually curious to see what's more is going to happen with that.
Yeah, it's actually really exciting. It sounds like you're kind of a little bit more down on the backwards compatibility. I'm really excited about it. Just the fact that I'll be able to transfer everything over and not have to worry. But yeah, the price point makes me say, like, I kind of want to wait. Honestly, the first year when systems usually come out, you get a lot of like remakes and rehashes, and there's not a lot of big AAA releases right when the system launches. And if it is, it's probably one. So I might wait till the system goes down to about 400. We'll see. But overall, I'm super excited about it. They said the SSD, like I said, the loading is going to be just immaculate. This is something to definitely look forward to. Yeah. All right. I had some time on the clock with that one. So other big news, Sony, Microsoft. So, Microsoft's going to come back with something here. What do you think, Justin, that Microsoft or Sony should do to win this war coming up?
First thing Microsoft needs to do is get some better exclusives and focus more on their games, because I truthfully do not know anybody who's talking about Xbox One games besides the typical usual files like Halo and Gears. Mm-hmm. They need an IP. They need a library badly. They have the graphical power. They have the nice crossover with PC gamers and with the Xbox One, but they really need to focus on games, because that's what gaming is all about, the games. Sony's doing excellent with the PS4. So, I mean, I would say just keep following what they need to do. There's certain things they could change. Obviously, better online capabilities. The PlayStation Plus can get a little bit of a revamp. Obviously, they're focusing more on live service stuff with the PlayStation Now. So, like I said previously, probably putting more emphasis on that and putting more games and giving us more of the classics. But so far, Sony seems to be doing good. Microsoft needs to do a library.
I totally agree with you. They bought a bunch of studios, but again, those exclusive games, that's going to be key. But the one thing that we didn't talk about too much in the last topic was the haptic controllers. I think Microsoft needs something similar. So, for instance, for those who don't know, it's going to be really cool in the PS5 where the rumble is pretty much going to be like HD rumble times 10, where you'll be able to like feel on an analog stick when you're like walking through grass. You're feeling the triggers when you're pulling like a bow. It'll get harder and harder. I think Microsoft needs to innovate that way, but let's not do too much like they did before, where you'll have a console, online only, right? Basically, we have the recap of it. They need to innovate, but don't try to innovate too much. Don't reinvent the wheel. Get exclusives, and Microsoft will be fine. Oh boy, next topic. I'm just gonna sit back for this one. While you do that, I have my candy corn I'm gonna eat because it's Halloween. I love this candy. I have my water. I'm gonna let you rant about WWE 2K20. Let the people know what is going on and why you're so angry.
First of all, I gotta let people know this. I've been playing wrestling games since WrestleMania NES. That's how long I've been a wrestling fan and been playing wrestling games. I want to get that out the way.
Yeah.
2K recently released a very broken wrestling game called WWE 2K. Now, everybody's giving them a pass because the original developer, Yuke's, left. And I guess allegedly taking all their coding and everything with them. So I guess 2K had to revert. This is just the rumor, this part, that 2K had to revert back to an old PS2 engine. That's why the game is so broken. No excuse. They should have just delayed the game. If you go online, there's so many glitches. There is glitches where Becky Lynch's face, you can't even see some characters' faces. The graphics are completely downgraded. You have craziness of random wrestlers falling from the sky, landing on that. I saw a clip of that. Wrestlers falling from the sky, literally landing in the ring. That's not even in the match. There are so many bugs in here. It is disgusting. IGN, as hot and cold I am with IGN, gave it a 4.3. It has a Metacritic score right now of a 1.4, I believe, right now. This is absolutely the worst wrestling game it could be possibly made with a WWE title. WrestleMania, the arcade in your house, is less glitchy and way better and more enjoyable than this game right now. Bro. That's how bad this is. It's so bad that Sony, who never gives refunds, are giving refunds for this game. You know you messed up when Sony is giving you refunds. My thing is, how did you mess up this badly? I can't go on. I really can't go on.
It's really sad. It's really sad. All right, I'm done eating. Next topic. This one's really serious. We're talking about video games, and a lot of this stuff really doesn't matter. If a video game sucks, hey, move on. But this topic is about real life now. If you're living under a rock, you might not have heard about the China, Hong Kong protests, but nonetheless, that protest has entered the video game industry, the video game space, with Activision support of China. Now, Activision, I like Activision personally. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they're the first ever third party created from former Atari developers. They have a great lineage, a great history, but they are very money hungry, just as EA is, right? We know those two are like the two money hungry guys. And basically, for those who don't know, there was a situation in a Hearthstone tournament stream or whatever it was, where a guy pretty much he talked about supporting Hong Kong. I think his exact words was liberate Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And nonetheless, not only is he banned, but they also are withholding his money that he actually earned in the tournament. So Activision, again, strongly supporting China. What's your thoughts on that, Justin? And let's talk about the dollars and cents behind that as well.
Well, first off, thankfully they decided to give him his money, so that's good. And they shortened the ban to 6 months. Okay. Now, here's the hypocritical part of this when it comes to this company. They, and this is the problem most of the gamers are having with them, they champion all this social justice and free speech and all this other stuff here. They criticize everything here, what's going on in social movement here. But the moment someone says something about China and their partners in money, oh, you can't say that, you can't say that, you can't. This is the hypocritical part. And I definitely am in full support of the gamers that's protesting, because they're protesting about free speech. The person should be able to say what they want to say. Granted, if it's in the guidelines, and I'm going to play devil's advocate real quick, if it's in the guidelines that he can't say these certain things and he disobeyed it, then that's on him. I don't know the full story about that, but all I know is that Blizzard and Activision looking real hypocritical right now. So, yeah.
This situation is so complex, and it's a situation that most people should stay away from. We see that China, to my understanding, even now, they're still not broadcasting NBA games. I know the first day they didn't. I think that's still going on. But nonetheless, they're losing a lot of money over there. I understand for, like I said, the business side of it. I mean, they're probably Activision, maybe you could argue making billions from China. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money. But my thing is this. When I looked at, like, for instance, Bill Gates has a show on Netflix where he talks about all his philanthropy and the things that he's doing after Microsoft. I think I want all billionaires to watch that, because it's to a point where you get so much money, your goal shouldn't be to get more money. Your goal should be to help people. And exactly. Activision, yeah, they're super rich. This is the time that you stick your neck out and you stand up for human rights. But maybe we'll get banned from saying that in China. So let's switch topics. All right. Actually, this might actually be in China, because I think Shenmue 2 is in China. If I remember correctly, he went to China. Oh, you didn't get it? I don't want to spoil it. Sorry, you didn't get to that one yet.
Anyway,
yeah.
One of these days.
Two of the most anticipated games of the year for the last couple years, Shenmue 3 coming out next month, and Death Stranding, which is coming out in about 2-3 weeks. Kojima actually posted a picture of the actual physical game, which is pretty cool. Highly anticipated games, but at the same time, both of these games could fall on their face. So, Justin, which game is more likely to fail, if any?
Okay, if you mean fail by sales, it will definitely be Shenmue.
No, critically, just as far as it's good game.
Critically, whew, that's tough, because Shenmue will get love for nostalgic reasons, while Death Stranding, I would think, will ultimately disappoint due to the hype behind it. And basically lack of real understanding of concept of what the story is, gameplay is, and Kojima always going full complex. So, against my better judgment, and I'm probably going to get some heat for this, I might go Death Stranding with this one. I think mainly because of the hype around it, that, when the hype is built and if it doesn't meet people's expectations, it fails. So, critically, it will fail. Sales-wise, it's going to sell. Definitely will sell more than Shenmue, but if it comes to critically acclaim, I would give it more to Shenmue, mainly because of the nostalgic factor in it. But yeah,
I'm actually going to go the other way. I feel like, obviously Death Stranding is going to sell regardless, but I think Shenmue is going to fail only because the Yakuza series, right? I think that you have I think that right now it is a superior product. Hopefully they show that I'm wrong. But I think that kind of game, the reasons why Shenmue was great in 1999 when they actually first started developing it for the Sega Saturn, believe it or not, and in 2001, 2002 when it actually released, the reasons why they were great don't really matter anymore, and then a lot of them, believe it or not, it was a lot of technical reasons why. So, for instance, one of the things that I love about Shenmue 1 and 2 is that Yu Suzuki had them program each NPC. So each NPC, if you follow Justin in Shenmue 1 and 2, they have a schedule. They go to work at 9 o'clock. They go. You can follow them to their job. They go behind the counter. They'll go home. All these things. In 2002, that was amazing. Now that's kind of like commonplace. So I think the test of time is going to defeat Shenmue 3. But we'll see. I'll probably get both of them. Speaking of Yakuza, speaking of the devil, Yakuza 3, as you know, Justin, I'm a huge Yakuza guy. 3 was your favorite, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Yakuza 3 has been remastered. I was actually looking at getting it, stumbled upon an article saying how the LGBT, they're attacking this game because I guess there's a lot of transphobic missions, and specifically there's a transphobic character who I don't want to mispronounce the name too much, but it looks like it's Michiru. And basically there's a mission where Michiru, I think, is a transsexual, and the developers, they're playing with the pronouns too much, being disrespectful. In addition to that, you have to run and evade the transsexual NPC, and if the transsexual catches you, you will be sexually assaulted, but not in an egregious way. It's like a joke. You know, for those who play Yakuza, there's a lot of like jokey side missions, and this is one of them. So they were attacked. They actually took that out of the remaster because this is a side mission. It doesn't really matter for anything. But what's your thoughts on, Justin, things like that happening into the gaming industry now?
First I gotta say this. I'm friends with people of all communities and stuff like that. And one thing I've noticed about this outrage culture is the people who are outraged are usually not members of that group.
Sure.
So you will be surprised in the way the media and everything puts like, oh, the LGBTQ is offended. And then you actually talk to members of the LGBTQ community and they go like, I don't care. It's like, whatever. It's like, I could take a joke. And it might be a small group of people that's offended by this, but trust me, it's a small minority. This is more of a precaution because we're living in the Twitter era, cancel culture era. So they're walking on eggshells, and this is developers. This is everything in entertainment. Everybody's walking on eggshells because they say the wrong thing. You're gonna get this huge Twitter backlash that gets your thing canceled, or you got people screaming, and it usually only lasts a couple of weeks, and then it blows over until they find something else to be offended about. Should it be taken out? No, I don't think it should be taken out because that's the original creator's vision. That's the artistry of the vision. But at the same time, this is the times that we're living in. So if they feel like they have to avoid this to just take some heat off of them, if it's not important to the core story, then who cares? If it's not taken from the core story, then it is what it is.
As somebody who beat Yakuza 0, you beat Yakuza 1, and I'm pretty like halfway through 2. Those homophobic, transsexual side stories are in every game. I'm sorry to break it to people. If you look, now it may not be this extreme where it's that disrespectful maybe, but, and yeah, I remember a transsexual chasing me in Yakuza, I think it was 1. Yakuza 0 had like funny side missions where it's like, hey, do you hit on this girl? And then it's like, press A to hit on her. Then she turns around and it's a man. You know, like they've had so many of these things. So I'm saying if you're going to take one of them out, you got to take them all out.
Yeah.
Or don't take none of them out. Pick one.
Exactly.
Anyway, new system alert. So new handheld system was just announced called Analogue. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but Analogue Pocket, basically, where I'm not even sure how legal the system is, but people actually were hyped about it, dude. It blew up my news feed when it first was announced. It plays every Game Boy game, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Gear, and Neo Geo, I think, among a couple other handheld consoles. I mean, you can just smack the cartridge in. There's no emulation, plays it straight through. I think the system's coming out next year, but the price is $200. So what's your thoughts on this illegal system?
Did Soulja Boy get in trouble for this?
His was emulation, though. His was straight emulation. That's it, bro.
Yeah, okay, so do we really need this though? Like, I mean, if you have does the Switch, does the Switch offer Game Boy games or no?
Not as many, not really. Not as much as the 3DS.
I mean, if it's playing all Game Boy games, if you're really into Game Boy like that, I can't support it if it's not legal or licensed by Nintendo. So I will definitely say no. I want to support this because that basically means it is an emulation system. It's no different than what Soulja Boy is doing, or was doing, I should say. So I'm surprised Nintendo has not done a cease and desist already with this being out like that.
Yeah, again, the legalities. If you're a lawyer, I actually know some friends who are lawyers. So if you guys are listening to this, please leave a comment below. I would love to read how this is legal. But nonetheless, I actually disagree, Justin. I actually like this system. It's kind of like a dream system. And let me tell you why. As you know, I have moved from place to place, from city to city, from place to place within cities. And I have about maybe 6 to 10 GBA games and 3DS, but this doesn't do 3DS. But I have a couple of games that I will not throw away. They're just that good, that classic, perfect, emulations for that type of game, right? I don't want to play it anywhere else. And I actually carry these around because one day I might play it. Probably not, but you never know. This system having the ability to play all of these cartridges, I think that's like a dream. Now, my only problem is the price point. As you mentioned earlier, I have a Switch Lite. The Switch Lite is amazing. It's $200. This system plays games that are 20 years old, $200. This system should be 100 maximum. So, and on a sadder note, kind of staying along those lines, Nintendo Alpha Dream, the developers of pretty much almost every recent Mario RPG series, Mario and Luigi. I'm sure you've seen all of those recently on the 3DSs, the Game Boy Advance, I think is where it started.
The Paper Mario series too?
You know what? They did the last one, the compilation between Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi. But yeah. I think there's a different team that does the specific Paper Mario series. But nonetheless, they're bankrupt, and they're saying that Nintendo is not going to bail them out. And this is pretty much it for them. What's your thoughts on Alpha Dream going bankrupt? Could they have done some things different? What do you think happened? How can he fix this? What's your thoughts?
Well, it's always hard for any studio to close down. I hate to see any game studio close down because that's jobs lost. That's, it's not, anyone who's ever lost a job knows how stressful it is. So I'm not even going to get into that. They have done some pretty good damn 3DS games when it came to the Mario RPGs. They really brought new life to the Mario franchise. For Nintendo not to bail them out, it's not really their responsibility, truthfully. I mean, I know everybody would love to see that happen, but I mean, studios fall all the time left and right. I'm not sure how they were financially. Maybe they should have done a little bit of an original IP, I guess, to focus on that. I mean, it also is they can go the mobile route as well and do a free to play just to re-up more. See if they can make their own IP. I mean, with less costs and less stress. But yeah, it's sad to see.
As I'm a huge fan of it. I actually on my 3DS now, there's a couple games that I'm still playing, and Mario and Luigi. One of their last game is actually one of them. Those games are designed so well. That team is so talented, and I think, believe it or not, it's weird that Nintendo won't bail them out because I think they're in this predicament because of Nintendo. I think I'm not a lawyer. I haven't seen their contract or anything either, but I'm pretty sure they're not getting a bunch of royalties off those games. I'm pretty sure Nintendo paid them a set amount, and that's pretty much it. Whereas if they created their own IP, and they started to create some more original games, maybe they can actually make a lot more money off that. I think it would be a great move for Nintendo to actually buy the studio and make them, just a part of the team, and have them focus on some Switch Mario and Luigi games. That'd be my dream. Better graphics. So, all right, another side note, but sad in a different way. A lot of people have been cosplaying as a Joker. In Brazil, there was the biggest video game convention in Brazil just occurred. And I guess the story goes, this guy cosplayed as Joker. He went out, so I guess smoke a cigarette or whatever the case, get some air while he was trying to come back in. The security told him no. I'm not sure if he had his credentials or whatever, but he was kind of fussing with the security. Not only did they take him to the back room, but they took him to the back room and beat the hell out of him. As you can see, by these pictures that I'm posting. They said he was quote unquote tortured in the back. Dustin, you talk to people from Brazil a lot more than I do. You having your artists out there. You go to a lot of cons. So what's your thoughts on this? I'm sure you've seen plenty of cosplayers and stuff. What's your thoughts on this?
First of all, I've been to certain cons where security are complete a-holes. They really are. Yeah. And where staff takes their job a little bit too serious. Like, they're security hired for that particular event and they think they're police. It's like ridiculous. But we obviously will not have a situation like that in the States, but in other parts of the world, things might be a little bit different. The fact that this guy was beaten and tortured, it's just like allegedly. We don't have video proof of that.
Well, he got pictures of his face getting beat up. So
yeah, but that's insane. I haven't talked to anybody that I know in Brazil about the situation, but I will definitely look into that. That doesn't happen at cons, but I wouldn't put it past them. I honestly wouldn't put it past security, especially we don't know. What if he threatened, he didn't have a pass? We don't know. But either way, I would say definitely excessive.
Yeah, it's actually horrible. I mean, you think about, hey, dressing up as Joker, having fun, going to a video game convention. It's the last place you would think you would get beat up. But you know what it is? The security sometimes. I used to be security. And so I know a lot of times my manager will call me and say, hey, we're having an event at wherever. I need you, a couple other guys, to go down there. We don't know the event. We don't know the place. It's all new to us. We might have an attitude because we're working overtime, things like that. So not to give excuses for the security, but I can totally see it happening, unfortunately. Maybe he could have said something smart, but regardless, there's no excuse. He shouldn't ever be tortured. That is just...
It's sickening. Like, it's what's the world coming to?
Yeah.
All right. Convention.
What's that?
At a convention. Like,
I
really?
know. All places. Halloween is upon us. And so it makes me think what's, some great games for people to play. But I kind of want to go, Justin, what's some of your favorite Halloween games, horror games you would like to mention?
Asking a horror gamer about his favorite horror game. That's pretty good. All right, so I will definitely have to go favorite horror game of all time, Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly for the PlayStation 2. If you never played that game, get it, play it. This is a definitive Japanese horror experience. That's all I'm going to say about that. Obviously, the Resident Evil 2, the remake and the original, that's a must-play on the list. If you're looking for new horror, I will definitely try Soma. Alien Isolation is really good. Slender the Arrival. Remother, Tormented Fathers, The Forest. I haven't tried the new Blair Witch yet. The list goes on. Friday the 13th. Silent Hill. 1, 2, and 3.
You like all of them? Wow, okay.
Especially 2. 4 is okay. Am I missing anything? Siren. There's a whole bunch, man. There's a whole bunch. I just gave you guys a quick list off the top of the dome.
Well, first of all, you forgot my favorite game, Die in the Dark.
Oh,
Die in the Dark is available for Steam.
I'm thinking console, brother.
Oh, okay. On Steam right now. It will be on console soon at some point. I don't know when. But nonetheless, I'm actually having a sale on Die in the Dark for Halloween because I do want people to have that horror feeling. But now, besides Die in the Dark, probably my favorite horror game of all time is Resident Evil 1, the original, not even a remake, the original. Because, again, it was something that I had no idea what it was. And when I saw the damn dog jump through the window, my heart almost exploded. You know what I mean? Like, it was nobody at that time. There was a game called Alone in the Dark. But besides that, we never seen anything like that in video gaming. On a fun note for Halloween, Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming out next week. Part 2 was amazing. Part 3, I'm telling you, I'm really looking forward to that. All right. Well, that's the show. I appreciate dearly everyone that listened and got to the end. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Like it, share it, all of that. Before we go, Justin, you got any last words?
Yeah, I got actually one more recommendation for the horror games, just to throw that out there. There's this game. I'm playing on PS Now. It's not technically horror, but the premise of it is horror. It's called Spectrum Resort or something like that. You can play it on PlayStation Now. It is a really cool puzzle game. It's a puzzle game. This guy wakes up with amnesia and everything else, and he's got to go through these puzzles. It's pretty cool. I definitely want to recommend that.
Nice. All right. Well, again, thank you guys for listening. Until next month, where we'll actually have Shenmue 3 on hand and
Death Stranding too.
What's that?
And Death Stranding too.
Yeah. So we'll have this hands on, and we're gonna talk a little bit more Switch next week too. So, all right, guys. Till next time.
Later days.